And now we welcome on from the Houston Chronicle to preview the Texans, John McClain. John, how are you?
Great, Dan. Mary Kay, how are y'all?
We are doing great. It's so great to have you with
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, we're very honored. Hey, John, we're curious here about this 2-6 Texans team. They've played so many good opponents. Is it hard to get a handle on this team? Are they better than that 2-6 record?
No, they're not. They've been terrible. They've got one good thing going, Deshaun Watson. He's played great. I just wrote a column for tomorrow. His streak of 7 consecutive games with a rating of at least 109 is seriously in jeopardy because of the conditions I see that I just looked could be gusts up to 40. I know what it was like your last home game when they were up to 35, and Texans have no running game. They have no run defense. They can't stop the pass. The only thing they can do is pass. And boy, right now, based on what the forecast is, and I've been coming here since 77, so I know it could change. But based on what it is here today, it does not look conducive for passing games.
Now, Deshaun Watson is always going to be tied to the Browns at least a little bit because they were the team that traded that pick that allowed the Texans to take him. How is he playing this year compared to what he did in his first 3 years in the league and now that he has that extension?
Their first 3 games, they played at Kansas City, Baltimore, and at Pittsburgh. No team played a schedule anything close to that in the first 3 games. And they've since played Green Bay and Tennessee. If they hadn't played Jacksonville twice, they wouldn't have won a game. But Watson, starting with Pittsburgh, so for the last 5 games, let's see, 5, 6, 7, last 6 games, he's averaged 308 yards. He's had a rating of at least 109. He has 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He started running more than he had early in the season. He had 10 runs for 50 yards, not by design, but by desperation against the Jaguars because they can't run the ball. David Johnson, their starting back's out. Duke Johnson, who you guys know very well. Duke will start, get the bulk of the action in the backfield. He's fired up about it, coming back to Cleveland. And we asked Watson about his visit there, and he said, well, he remembered it was cold, but it was a great visit. He went to the stadium. He said he enjoyed meeting Hugh Jackson and other people, and he said, that was one place I thought I was going to be. And then, of course, they made that trade, Sashi Brown with Rick Smith, and that's the best trade in Texans history. It's not as great as the best one in Oilers history, which was trading up in 1978, getting the first pick they used on Hall of Fame running back Earl Campbell. And, I'll tell you something's interesting, right? This time last year, Texans were 5-3 on their way to a 10-6 record in the AFC South title for the 4th time in 5 years. And the Browns were 2-6 on their way to 6-10. And now it's been totally reversed. And the only thing the Texans have going for them is Deshaun Watson. You guys will see that on Sunday. I tell people, if the Browns don't rush for 200 yards, and I don't care what the conditions are, I'll be amazed.
Is there any hope with that defense that they can get off the field enough possessions to make Sunday interesting, or is it going to have to be a shootout?
Well, I doubt it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be more like the Raider game,
right?
Based on what we think the early forecast is. But Texans defense, it's interesting. 2 years ago, 2018, they won 9 in a row after an 0-3 start, finished 11-5. They were 3rd in the NFL, giving up 82 yards a game rushing. Then last season, first 9 games, they gave up 84 yards a game rushing. Since then, the last 9 games last year through the first 8 games this year, they're giving up 169. Their run defense is terrible. People say, well, they let DJ Reader go. I said, DJ Reader was here when they were awful over the last 9 games last year, counting 2 in the playoffs. So this year, a problem they have is some of their best players who played really well in recent years, like inside linebacker Zach Cunningham, safety Justin Reed, outside linebacker Whitney Merciless. Those guys have been very inconsistent. The tackling's been poor. Now, the last 2 games, they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher, even though James Robinson, the Jaguars, got 99. They still gave up 115, which is a great run defense for them. And I don't know how they could possibly stop Chubb and Hunt coming back in a game where you're going to run the ball a lot. I just don't see it. Now, if you run it in 4 or 5 yards at a time, you get a lot of first downs. That's going to keep the game close.
All right, I think I know how this is going to turn out, but what is your pick for Sunday's game?
Well, you already know, Dan, how it's going to turn out. And I made my pick in the Chronicle before I saw the weather prediction today. So yesterday I picked, I think the Browns 31-20. And today, if I'm doing it right now for you guys, I'm going to think it's going to be like the game you had in your last home game with the Raiders. So I'm going to pick the Browns 20-13.
Okay.
Great.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. I don't think anyone knows more about the Houston Texans than him, so we appreciate you joining us to tell us everything we need to know about Houston.